Thank you, ma'am. Our first item of business to call the meeting to order is to approve the minutes of the April 13th, 2020 Oklahoma City Economic Development Trust. Would one of the trustees like to make a motion?
Todd Stone did.
Have a motion and a second.
Lynn will second.
We have a motion and second. Please cast your votes. And it passes. Next item on the agenda is to ratify the OCEDT claims. And the chairman would accept a motion or discussion. And the item passes. Next on the agenda.
We did not vote on that one. Okay, sorry.
Next on the agenda is the first item dealing with forbearance. Kathy, if you would explain to the trustee, we will start a discussion and take action.
Yes, this item is a joint resolution with the City Council related to various loans that the city enters into for various programs. This one relates to programs that are regulated by the federal government. So it includes Community Development Block Grant loans. Those could include Section 108 loans, Home Fund loans, Special Economic Development Loan Program, EPA Brownfields loans, and tax increment district loans. So it is more than just the federal loans. We have received some requests from large and small businesses about forbearance of their payments during, as a response to the COVID-19 pandemic. And so this resolution sets out the parameters for that kind of suspension of payments. Wiley may have some other things that he'd like to add. The suspension of payments will be for a period of 6 months unless expressly extended by the council or trust. And management and staff are recommending that loans should not be forgiven, but that loan payments should be subject to temporary forbearance.
Right, and I'll clarify by saying the extension can be up to 6 months. It's decided on a case-by-case basis.
Any other discussion, or the chairman will entertain a motion to accept?
This is Todd. I wanted to say thanks to Kathy and her staff for putting that together. I know right now there's a lot of people going through hard times trying to figure out what to pay and when. So it's definitely a time for us to try and work with them. Thanks.
Well, thank you.
I'll make a motion.
Somebody second?
And who are we waiting on?
Get a second. We need to vote.
Chairman McAtee, you need to vote.
Yes, I'm trying to.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Likewise. We're aware of that. We just couldn't find the vote button. All right. Thank you all very much. Next up is the Economic Development Agreement with Heartland Payment Systems. Kathy, if you would please, ma'am.
Yes, this is an economic development agreement between WDCO Broadway LLC and Heartland Payment Systems for the Heartland headquarters project located at Northwest 5th and Broadway. The trust had approved an allocation of tax increment financing in the amount of $2.3 million to support the development of this building, where Heartland Payment Systems will be the sole tenant. The project consists of 100,000 square feet, and the project also added 345 new to market jobs. The economic development incentive contemplated in this agreement was always intended to be provided to Heartland as a way to reduce their overall operating costs to relocate their business to Oklahoma City. The incentive will be provided to Heartland on an annual basis, as 85% of the ad valorem taxes generated and paid during the remaining life of tax increment district number 2. And let me get back to my packet. I'll be glad to try to answer any questions about this one, but we're very happy that Heartland chose to locate in Oklahoma City and create so many great jobs.
Kathy, I've got a question.
Go ahead, Craig.
Is this the one I'm thinking of where we're kind of letting them out of the flip clause?
Well, this project is a little bit of an anomaly from some of the typical tax increment projects that we do, where we do enter into an agreement with the developer to not flip the project for some period of time. In this case, what we're doing is entering into an agreement with the company not to get out of their lease, basically, for a set period of time, to guarantee that the jobs stay in Oklahoma City and that we live up to the arrangements that we made with the company when we encouraged them to locate in Oklahoma City. So it is different than the typical no flip policy that you will see in some of our agreements. But we do believe that this was part of the arrangements made with Heartland in order to compel them to come to Oklahoma City.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions from the trustees? Hearing none, the chair will entertain a vote to approve. A motion to approve is the first step. And it passes. Next up on the agenda. Next up on the agenda is the Economic Development Agreement with Homeland Grocery Stores. Wiley, I think, comments?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, this is Wiley. Can you hear me okay?
Hear you here.
All right. I'm going to request that this item be deleted from the agenda. I don't think the agreement, we've received some last minute requests for some changes to it, and I don't think it's in a form that I feel comfortable presenting to the trust at this time. So I'd like to pull it from the agenda and bring it back at a later date and time.
Any questions from the trustees, or is that action what the trustees want to have happen?
I would make a motion to strike item C.
We have a motion to strike. Is there a second?
Second.
Please cast your votes. And it is so done.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Wally. Next up is the Oklahoma City Economic Development Foundation fiscal year 20 third quarter report. I think Jeff from the Chamber of Commerce is here to give it.
Yes, Councilman, can you hear me okay?
Chairman can hear you. Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, thank you guys. Included in your packet is our third quarter report. We deviated from our normal report this time to more match up a current conversation about what we're seeing lifetime in the economy. Good news is on that first slide 2, sorry. Yeah, we have continued to have a lot of movement to our relief on projects. We've got several good pending projects, and we've had some expansions and some other just relocation announcements happen in this past quarter. So that's been really a welcome sign. The inflow of new projects has not slowed down as like we expected it to. Moving forward, I just wanted to give you some information about what we're in the middle of, and then also what we're seeing in the regional economy. So a lot of our efforts, as you guys know, have been really focused on triage, and then how do we emerge from this economic condition in the right way. So like everybody that's involved in this call, we've been involved in supporting the Small Business Continuity Program. That's been an excellent partnership. I want to give specific kudos to city staff, who is really in the middle right now of the validation and approval process. And I think we can talk about statistics, but the sheer volume of applications and how those have been handled quickly, validated, and processed well has been a really good process. So I want to give kudos to city staff who's managing that piece of the puzzle. On our side, we've also been managing a lot of the outreach to existing companies, especially our primary employers, making sure that they're connected to resources. We know what's going on live time in their businesses, and we can help them manage this process well. As an organization, we've also been focused very much on sharing information with the broader community, whether that's federal programs, city county health information, or providing larger sort of clearinghouse information about how to help them respond to the ever-changing environment related to COVID. So what we're seeing on the good front is that a lot of our companies were successful in receiving PPP loans. Even though we have the 28th largest population of any state, we were the 18th highest ranked allocation state for PPP loans. Numbers about $4.6 billion in allocations. On the bad news, as everyone knows, unemployment claims have continued to climb pretty rapidly. They're not climbing as rapidly now as they had been, but as of April 4th, there have been about 37,000 new claims for unemployment. And about 42% of those were for food service and accommodations. So I think those would carry trends that you would guess. Industry by industry, I'm not going to go through all this, but you can see some bullet points. Some interesting trends on manufacturing, logistics, and back office. A lot of continuation of inflow of back office projects. I think this signals a bigger shift to Oklahoma City as one of the mid-sized markets that's out of a very dense urban environment in a lower cost market for relocating workload. Continuous good trend for us. Manufacturing logistics, we are seeing some layoffs, but we're also seeing very localized opportunity for logistics to serve more localized markets, which I think bears well for us. And you've probably seen that, on your own delivery systems where people are needing to deliver supplies to companies or consumers faster and in a quicker timeline. Entrepreneurs and startups, it depends on each entrepreneur, how they're doing, what sector they're in, and what sort of contracts they have. Still see a lot of availability of venture capital, but also seeing a lot of companies that need help. And then restaurant retail, I think we all kind of know that story there. A lot of what they're telling us right now they need is just the overall guidance that the city and state will continue to provide as we look to reopen. So I'm not going to go through everything, but just to close, for us, it's about, understanding the impacts, knowing what changes to expect, and then really longer term positioning for opportunities in the context of this partnership we have with the city and the alliance, and looking at specific opportunities that make sense in our market. We think that if you really look at the needs side of this equation, being an innovative market that has a culture of innovation and having long-term talent pipelines is going to be a key to that success. So I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Jeff. Any questions for Jeff?
Jeff, I have a question. I don't know if you'll be able to answer it or not, but what percentage of the workforce in Oklahoma City is currently working?
I don't have a good answer for that, unfortunately. I can dig into it, and let me dig into it and see if I have a better answer, and I can send something to city staff. But I know we're talking to companies at all sort of parts of the equation, of people that are furloughed to people that are doing work from home, or even like places like Tinker that are still cranking out workload and not having to be on the floor. So I don't have a great answer for you. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's fine. I was just curious if you did. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry. I think we just across the board, when we do some community surveys, it's fair to say majority of businesses have been disrupted in some capacity.
Thank you.
Sure.
Any other comments or questions? Seeing none, I need a motion to accept in a second. And to approve. Thank you. Last item on our agenda was the general manager's reports, to bring them in. You've got them in your packet. Are there any comments from staff?
I have no comments.
Hearing none, are any of the trustees desirous of making a comment? And again, hearing none, are there any citizens who desire to be heard at this meeting? And again, hearing none, we are adjourned.